There we go. And hello, everybody. It's Kim from Expressions of the Universe with your weekly wisdom for August 1st through August 8th. And we're doing a live Zoom because I have a lot of channel messages, and I have the lovely Dawn from Painted Willow Art here, and Vicky K from the UK, and Angela and Ellen. So you have 3 Geminis and 2 Aries here. It's fire and air, so this should be hot, hot, hot. Before I get started, I do want to introduce Dawn from Painted Willow Art. She's in Boise, Idaho, and we've been friends for a long time. And if you haven't seen me plug her before, she has done some, sorry, my mind just went blank. She has done some art classes here on the live coffee talks, and she's always doing free tutorials, but she has some amazing classes. You do not have to be an artist. A lot of it is art therapy as a meditative practice. So you're just really kind of scribbling, but she walks you through everything to get you into a really relaxed state. And I'll tell you, it's been a great de-stressor, especially during COVID. We spent whole month of March, I believe, March or April.
I think it was April.
Yeah, because I was sick in March.
Yeah.
But doing these classes every week, and then it opened up my creative bubble, and we all know
what happened.
And
Kim
look what
started
happened.
painting.
I did. I started doing some astrological painting, and I had art from before that I posted, but now Dawn even helped me get a little shop going, which is doing really well. And now I'm selling my artwork, and I'm also giving artwork out as gifts for birthdays. And Christmas is coming up, so you never know what might happen. But thank you for purchasing that.
I don't know if you've had any feedback from anybody that's bought any of this, but this is fantastic. The paper is a real nice thick quality.
Oh, good.
And the inks are really vibrant. It's gorgeous.
I've seen some of the pieces. I've seen some of the T-shirts, and I was just blown away by how nice it looked. It almost looked better than the original. The masks are coming out really, really nice. I'm just shocked at how vibrant the colors are.
Yeah, the print's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Also, yesterday my friend sent me a mug. She got the Whimsy flower on a mug, and it just looks so pretty. And she purchased pencil cases. A lot of people are getting notebooks, and the cover has the art. And I'm very impressed how this company is making my artwork look fantastic.
And isn't it fun to see your stuff out there on all those things?
It's crazy. And then now my friends are saying that they're going on Google, to look for something random, and the side they're seeing my artwork in advertisements, and I'm like, what? This is crazy. But I owe this to you. And Dawn just posted her August class schedule. So she was reluctant to do classes online, and then COVID happened. So
and you've been bugging me for a year to do it, so I owe that to you.
At least a year. And she's like, oh, I don't know. I've got my little studio, but then COVID happened and nobody could come into the studio, and you needed to continue working and creating. So here we are. But, check her out. It's paintedwillowart.com. What else do you have? You want to talk about what August is bringing?
August has a whole bunch of classes. I have a couple of different options. You can either take individual technique classes, which are just, one-time 90-minute shots, which are fun because even with just one technique, that's a technique that has all of the things that I teach are abstract or doodle based. Mm-hmm. So there's no real pattern to it. Every time you do it, it's going to come out different. So even with just one class, that's a foundation to build a creative practice that has benefits in all areas of your life. With that one method, you could draw for the rest of your life and not come out with two things the same.
And you know what? A lot of my friends that attended your classes in April have done your abstract doodle method as a form of stress relief, especially at work.
Yeah,
And they just keep creating and creating and creating. And one of my friends even gave me one of her creations as a birthday gift. She framed it. Fantastic.
I've heard from a lot of people, particularly with it's this one that we're talking about. I call it an emotional scribble, and it comes out different every time you do it. And you really don't have to have drawing skills to do this, but it's a way to release pent up emotions and kind of process through what's going on. And it's been so gratifying to hear people who've taken that class in particular talking about how much that's helped them through everybody being locked down. And the longer this continues,
right,
the more they're using it. It just makes me feel good that I've been able to show them something that's been helpful.
Yeah, it's like putting your scream on the paper.
Yep. Yeah, essentially,
yeah. That class that you taught on one of my live coffee talks is available on my YouTube channel for free. And also, if you go to Dawn's YouTube channel, her Facebook or Instagram, she has a lot of free tutorial classes, and I love taking them. What was it, about a week or so ago? I put you up on my TV, and I blew through about 4 of the tutorials because, my time is so limited. So I'm like, oh, I have a whole day. And I did bubbles, and I did mushrooms, and a couple of other little things. And
nice.
so it's great. I'm just so grateful because it has really helped me through this crazy time.
I'm so glad. That's what I want to share with everybody the most. I have always used art that way. From the time I was very little, this is what keeps me sane. And it's more the process of the drawing as opposed to what it comes out looking like.
Right.
I try and gear all my classes so that you do get something that's pretty when you're done, because I think it helps to be able to look at it and go, I really like that. Even if you don't have really any drawing skills coming in the door. But it's really more about the process than anything. And that's what I want to share with people, that there's so much benefit in just sitting down and drawing, whether it looks like anything or not.
True. And you don't even have to show anybody.
No.
But, like the way that you explain the technique, I know, like our monkey mind, how we can't shut our mind off. And then you said, every time those thoughts start to creep in, just fill in the corners. So it's one of the techniques in the crazy drawing.
Yep.
And then you go in and you fill in wherever lines are intersecting. So if you just focus on looking for all the intersected lines, you can't be thinking about something else. But then when you find that the thought is coming in, like, oh my gosh, I've got bills due, I got to make dinner, then I say, nope, find the corner, fill in the corner. You just keep focusing back to it, and it's so refreshing. It really is
amazing how effective those simple little techniques are at just quieting everything down.
I know, it's wonderful. So thank you.
Thank you
for being here. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for supporting me in my new venture, because I truly appreciate it.
I wait eagerly to see what you're going to post next. I love that you're painting again.
I'm on a real flower kick. I really am. But we have the full moon on August 3rd. It's in Aquarius. So I will be doing something for Aquarius. And I know I have a lot of Aquarians that have been bugging me. And then we have the new moon in Leo on August 18th. So I am working on a lion piece. But as an artist, you're like, oh, I've got this idea. You start working on this. And so I do have to focus and get the Aquarius and Leo out. And one other thing, I posted on Instagram, I finally got to use my Artistic Isle watercolors.
What you think?
Oh my gosh.
Aren't they
The
glorious?
they're glorious. I can't even believe how high quality this is. So Dawn turned me on to this woman who handcrafts her own watercolor paints and metallics. Not only was her service superb, she put all these free little samples of paint and everything into my order, and a tea bag, a Zen tea bag, a pencil with a great eraser. It was just like such a cute package, but the quality,
Yeah.
it was fantastic. And if any of you have seen, some of you have, I ordered a metallic paint set and I didn't know it was coming from China. And it took 2 months to get here, and it got here, and it was supposed to be 36 colors. It was this little tiny thing about this big of, I don't know, 8 or 10 colors in this, and I paid $25 for it. Although when they dried, they came out okay, but not as nice as Artistic Isle.
Yeah, her
But
paints
still,
are just wonderful.
yeah, so thank you. The crystal of the week for the collective is black tourmaline, and it's about purification. And this really goes perfect with the theme that I'm going to talk about. And I have a nice chunk of black tourmaline. Now I have my whole house gridded with black tourmaline, selenite, and rose quartz. I have that at my front door, at all of my doors. I also have black tourmaline placed in front of all of my electronics because it absorbs electromagnetic. So does shungite. Malachite will also do that. Now this was a pure black piece, and now it's starting to get like decrepit looking, and I wonder if it's because it has absorbed so much electromagnetic. I don't know, but full moon is coming on Monday, so this will be sitting out here getting recharged. Put your crystals outside, but not selenite, because if it gets wet, they will start to melt. But the full moon is a really good time to charge all of your crystals in the moonlight. And I just want to pull the 3 cards for the week real quick, and then I'll go into my channeling and then ask you any questions. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay. The full moon will be at 11 degrees. For all of that, that means that we need to step into our integrity and our authenticity. We are going to be tested on our authenticity and integrity. So if you're staying in a place where you really hate, or you're in a relationship, or you have people in your life that really are not aligning with you, you're going to start to really be great. Like, it's going to grate on you to the point where you're going to have to make a decision, which is interesting. The new moon in Leo is at 26 degrees, which nets an 8. And not only is that infinity and abundance, but it's also about making a decision. So the first card that'll come in on Monday, Tuesday, oh, interesting. It's regeneration. So this is perfect because we are in a huge cycle of transformation for the next 7 months at least. Things are dying away, they're transforming, it's almost like we're in a cocoon, and we will be emerging as butterflies into something brand new. So dream big. Think about the life that you want. Feel it in your being. Like, feel what it would be like to be living your dream life. And then that's what will be coming out of our cocoon as. Things are manifesting quickly. So keep your thoughts good. Keep your intentions pure. Watch your words, Vicki, because things are happening at lightning speed. Now, Dawn, for Virgo rising, you got moon cycles, correct?
I don't remember. It was late last night when I
I
watched
think
it.
it was
I'm
cycles,
sorry.
but normally that would be 13 moons, 13, moon cycles,
I
but I
think that's
feel
what it
like
was.
things are manifesting quicker. So
Hmm.
it's like 13 days, 13 weeks, very, very fast. The card that will come in on Wednesday, Thursday, oh, I love this. It's peace. So aren't we all looking for peace and calm and quiet? Um,
Yes.
so let's see. So this will be Wednesday. This will be following the full moon. So yes, things should be calming down a little bit. The moon will be moving into Virgo, I believe, by the time Wednesday hits. So that'll be a very grounded energy. I think it'll be calm. It should be good. We will see. And then the Friday and next weekend card. Oh, I love this. Blessed will be that card. And we'll be coming into the Lionsgate portal next weekend. And the Lionsgate portal, for those of you that may not know, it is August 8th, and the 8 abundance, manifestation, infinity. It's also being at one with the collective, and we're moving into that energy, which therefore is creating a great divide amongst all of us. And I'm going to get into my channeled messages. We're in the great divide, and we've been all pulling apart from each other. We have that stellium in Capricorn, which I'm calling the COVID planets. So it's Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto have been hanging out in Capricorn since last October, creating a lot of chaos and havoc and breaking things apart. They all came together at 22 degrees on January 12th, and then bam. And 22, if that's a master number, it nets to a 4, which is a master number of Aquarius, and it talks about our humanity, our kindness, our innovation, but it also talks about figuring out where we truly belong. So as an astrologer and also as an intuit, um, astrologers all over the globe have been looking at that date for at least 2 years, knowing something huge was going to happen. And it's interesting because we don't get all of the information. Some things we are not supposed to know. I have a lot of people that come to me for readings and they want to know certain specific things. And, we're not supposed to know some things. Even in our own lives, there has to remain that mystery. Otherwise, life would suck. The one thing I wish the universe would open up to is let me know what the lottery numbers are, because I'll share. I really will share. I promise. Because if you know me, I'm very generous, but they don't. That's one thing that they won't let us know. But astrologers and intuits, we knew something huge was coming. I had been talking about it since the North Node moved into Cancer. That was in 2018. And I knew that things were going to be heading in the direction of home. Capricorn is a opposite of Cancer. So Capricorn is all about business, finance, government, religion, all of those structures, that our governments and our worlds, our cities are built on. And then Cancer is about the home and the family, and it's about nurturing. And I kept saying in my videos, I don't know how we're going to move in this direction, but everything, my guides, the cards, the astrology is pointing that we're going to be focusing more on being at home and being with our families. And we're walking away from big business. We're walking away from those old regimes, and they're all crumbling. And I said, I don't know how that's going to happen because, most Americans, a lot of Americans work, I don't know, 60, 80, 100 hours a week just in order to live, because everything is so expensive, and we like nice things. We want all the stuff. although I'm really not materialistic, but even just to live in my tiny little 900 square foot house costs a fortune. But I'm blessed, and it's more expensive to rent. So it's cheaper to own a home here in Philadelphia, outside of Philadelphia, than it is to rent an apartment. So I'm not fancy by any means, but this is economical. Anyway, and here we are. COVID happened. So, and that was at 22 degrees. Now I want to point out those same planets. Oh, and they didn't come together. It's been over 300 years since they have come together. The American Revolution was built on those planets coming together in Capricorn.
Wow.
300 years ago. Now, the crazy thing is that the planets that were in alignment during the Civil War here in the United States are also present. And yeah, and the planets that were present at World War I back in 1914 through 1918, they're also present. So these are three huge historical events in the world that these planets don't align. I don't think they have ever been all together at one time. I think it was 550 years ago that they were all together. And that was during Constantine's rule, when he brought religion into Rome and tried to control people. Capricorn is about control. He controlled people with religion. And he excluded a lot of the scriptures. I'm not religious, but I'm educated in religion. But he only put in scriptures and wording that he wanted at the time, and excluded like all of the writings of Mary Magdalene, who was Jesus's wife. Nobody knew about that. You know, and a lot of his friends who were beautiful prophets, Enoch, who is now known as Metatron, Archangel Metatron, Sandalphon, he was, I can't remember, but Enoch and Metatron, Archangel Metatron and Archangel Sandalphon were humans on Earth, and they got to ascend to be ascended masters and archangels. It's at the tip of my tongue. But anyway, I don't want to get away from where I'm going, other than we can look back at history, and that's why I love astrology. I can look back at history and see what happened and kind of predict what's going to happen. But so I'm looking at three different major world events and saying, holy shit, what is going to happen? We're in a big upheaval, and we're on the way to the age of Aquarius. It actually won't hit until about the year of 2600. So we will be long gone in this body. We may come back, but we are all here for a reason and a purpose to get this ball rolling. So also too, the astrology and the messages coming through are very literal. Saturn will be moving into Aquarius in December. He's in retrograde right now, so he's back in Capricorn. And that's about the air. So we're going to spend 2 years where the topics about air is literal. So if you've seen in Portland, Oregon, we had people fighting with leaf blowers. These militants came in to Portland, Oregon. They were bombing the civilians with tear gas and other chemicals, and the civilians had leaf blowers, and they were blowing the gas back into these hired militants. They're not even the military, they're not the government. They were brought in by our government, so nobody knows who they are, but they were leaf blowing the chemicals right back onto them. Also too, we've become afraid of the air. We've become afraid to breathe, and we have to wear masks, so it's making things harder to breathe. The astrology is very literal, and that is going to be a 2-year theme. Also, air travel. I don't think that we're really going to be traveling by air until about 2022. You know, some people may take the risk, but it is such an extreme risk. I personally am not afraid because, you know, I'm staying healthy. We're required to wear a mask in order to go into a store. We're not allowed to congregate. We're still on like semi-lockdown. Bars are not open here. A lot of things still are not open. But I feel that our governments are instilling fear in us as a form of control. So that's one of those Capricorn things that are going away. People have asked, are we going to war? I think we're kind of already been in war. You know, the whole world has really been in war since the end of December. It feels like it anyway. All right, so now I wanted to talk about Mars. So this is important for Vicky and Ellen, who, you know, you're both Aries and your sun sign is ruled by Mars. I mean, not Ellen, I'm sorry, Angela. They're both sisters, Vicky. So I get them confused sometimes. So Mars is going retrograde. He moved into his shadow last weekend. Did any of you have something crazy happen last weekend? Did you get into an argument or fight, or did somebody like really piss you off? Any kind of annoyance or aggravation?
Yeah, I'm an Aries.
So, because what I want all of us to do is pay attention to how you felt, what happened, not only last weekend. Some of us, it may not have happened last weekend, but we have a window of time. Things are going to crop up between last weekend and September 9th while Mars is slowing down. He's in his shadow, getting ready to go retrograde on September 9th. These are the ego things that we're working on within ourselves. We're also figuring out who is in alignment with us, and people that are triggering you and places that are triggering you during this shadow period are the things that we're all going to work on for the next 7 months until January of 2021. And we can't ignore them. So we have to work on them. And really, with this great divide, you're figuring out who you want on your side, who you want to be a part of your life, or if it's even work related, you know, do you want to continue working for that company? Families are being divided, friends are being divided, and people are separating because we're figuring out our place. That is Aquarian energy, figuring out where you truly belong. Aquarians, they'll never be where they don't feel it in their heart to belong. They won't put up with it. They're very cutting and precise, and they'll cut somebody off in a heartbeat. My analogy for this is, and I did post it on the Friday card last night, which got out late, but imagine yourselves in a swimming pool with all the people and situations in your life, and you're all enjoying this swimming pool. And your coworker starts peeing in the pool. And then your mom starts peeing in the pool. Your best friend starts peeing in the pool. Are you going to sit in that pool of piss? Are you going to let your friends and your family and your work pee on you? No, you're getting out of that pool. This is kind of my analogy for life right now. And I think because of Mars being in Aries, the way that we're going to feel, like that anger, the aggravation, it's going to be easy to cut people off and walk away from them. It really comes down to how is somebody or a situation making you feel. And if you feel ill at ease, I want you to take this time, you know, even over these 7 months, and say, okay, you know what? I can't do this anymore. Aries energy is about I am. It's about the self, putting the self first. The Leo energy that we're in, it's about loving the self first, putting our heart first. This is how we manifest, through loving ourselves and giving ourselves permission to live the life we want, to have the things we want. you know, so it's very important. This also plays into our ascension of 3D, 4D, and 5D. So there are going to be a lot of people, and I bet you're going to know who they are, that are going to stay in that 3D material, very grounded to earth phase. 3D is everything is black and white, right and wrong, very divided, so to speak, very divided. And, you know, I mean, look at politics and the arguments. It's just, you know, it's all of that earthbound heaviness, all of that negativity, that lower vibrational energy. 4D, you're kind of in the in-between. It's like, okay, you've got 1 foot down here on the ground, but you're working your way up to 5D, which is oneness. 5D is the age of Aquarian, where we can all get along, we can all be kind to each other. It doesn't cost anything to be kind to another person. And then also noticing little kindnesses. I posted that, you know, on Monday. We need to even start noticing the little kindnesses that other people are doing for us. Strangers, somebody hold the door open for you, somebody smile at you through their mask, because you can see through the crinkle in their eyes that they're smiling. I'm making it a point. I can be a miserable bitch, but I feel like at this time I'm connecting with people even more so, and I don't even really like people. You know, I like all of you, of course, but I'm really kind of going out of my way and like thanking people for, you know, the grocery store workers and the store clerks, and say thank you, have a good day, and I'm letting them see me smile, because I'm grateful that they are there so that I can go shopping, I can get food, I can get art supplies at Michael's. You know, just the little things. Even people letting you into traffic. I let people into traffic all of the time. Because why? It's kind. And maybe I'll make that person's day. Maybe that person is a miserable son of a bitch, and I let them into traffic, and they'll be like, wow, somebody did something really nice for me. These little tiny kindnesses create ripples that just go out into the world, and it's an endless ripple. So he might be nicer, and therefore that happens, you know, he comes in and he's nicer to somebody else, you know, and it'll just ripple. Okay, so Vicky fell off. And all right, so where it comes to Mars, if you do have your chart, take a look at, oh, there she is. Take a look at where Aries falls in your chart. You're back. Let me unmute her. So we're talking about where does Aries fall into your chart, because that's where the highlight is. Also, Chiron, the wounded healer, is in Aries for the next 6-7 years. Currently retrograde, so we're healing wounds about the self. It is all about the self. And stop with the he said, she said. Who cares what's going on in the world outside of us? We need to focus on the us, taking care of us, like doing that artwork. You know, that was me loving myself by taking time out of my super busy schedule. Now I have to do art every day, every single day. And I'm going to be signing up for your squiggle class that is coming. I really want to take the one that's on that Monday, but I do stuff on Monday, and I don't want to wait till the end of the month to have to take it, because I have a vision that I'll have to talk to you about.
We can do one-on-one. I do private ones too. So if there's
I know, but I like doing the group.
Okay.
I like being with the other people. So I think I might sign up and then just tell my women's group that I do on Monday that I won't be there that week. So it'll be okay. It's just 1 week.
Bring them too.
Oh, and you know what? It's actually a new moon on that Monday. So I think they may not even have
Mm.
the women's circle because people will be at ceremony. Because me and my community, we're all practicing shamans. So, you know, full moon and new moon, I don't really do, I do the new moon on my own. I don't go through that 4-hour water ceremony because I don't have the patience. But anyway, I want you to all look at your charts and see where Aries falls in, because that house in your natal chart, that's where the biggest impact will be. And actually, for all of you, I'll message each of you. Oh, my
Oh.
umbrella, the wind. I had to put this up because the sun was crazy. And I needed to do this outside, only because I wanted to. But I will message all of you and tell you where Aries falls in your chart so that you'll know what to focus on, and I'll let you know what it means. So a little bonus, and thank you for being here today. All right, so, oh my gosh, you umbrella. Of course, I'm not even trying to put it back up, and the sun is good. All right, so where does Aries fall in your chart? In our culture, a lot has been going on. What was happening in your country, your state, your city last weekend? We just talked about that. And then again, think about you and what will be your story. So what's going to come out of this time period? What will be the story that you tell people? Like Vicky, you got that garden going. I know that. Yeah. And Dawn, you braved the internet and took your little art studio to the masses. We're going to continue to build that. Everything going on is literal. I talked about that. Air wars, also fire wars. So there's a lot of fire energy right now. Also Aries and Mars, that's fire energy. So my guides were saying the air wars, the issues with the air, fire wars, they could be wildfires, they could be bombings. I don't want to instill fear in anybody, but that energy, it's there. And that's like a 7-month energy. A lot of natural disasters are going to be occurring. I mean, take a look. Hawaii most recently had one of their first hurricanes ever. Hawaii does not get hurricanes because they're protected by the West Coast, the Pacific Coast here in the United States. Most hurricanes are on the East Coast. So that was a freak of nature. I think they're going to get another one. They did get out of that pretty unscathed because it broke up. But I feel that's also part of the air because the hurricanes, and that's water energy as well. What else? Watch what you are mad at and the people around you, because you want to go inside and see what is it that's happening. What is that person doing that's triggering something in you? So of course it's so easy for us to want to blame the other person. Oh, well, like that, look what they did. Look what they said. They pissed me off. They made me mad. It really has nothing to do with them. It's in here. There's something inside of you or us that's coming up from somewhere in the past that needs to come up and be dealt with. We need to take a good look at it. Like, what did that person say that's really triggering me? So do I really dislike them, or is it just something that I haven't dealt with that I need to take a look at? And you also want to question, like, what are you mad at? You can journal, you can create some art. This is great energy, this fire energy, and with the sun in Leo, with Mars in Aries, great time to create new things. Use this energy for something greater than fighting. And if you feel that you need to argue with somebody, you need to go expend that energy into something productive. Also, I was picking up that we're projecting a lot of anger and fear on other people and like the needs of others. Like we're projecting that. We're going to see a lot of that over the next 7 months. We reap what we sow instantly. And I talked about this before I started to record. Things are manifesting super quick. It's almost as if you have a thought, oh, I'd like to do that. Bam, there comes the opportunity. Oh, I hate that. It shows up right in your face. Excuse me. Really getting tickle throat. It's usually when somebody's trying to come in spirit-wise and they're getting my attention through my throat because they had a throat issue or some sort of breathing issue or whatever. So does that pertain to anybody? Would that be Jim?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Jim. Yeah. So there we go. He's here because he's like really, did he smoke a lot?
He smoked a
Yes.
pipe.
Oh, yeah, because I feel like I smoked a pack of cigarettes. Like my throat is, it's crazy. So anyway, what?
He's trying to tell you something.
I know.
I can
So
feel his energy too. He's trying to tell you there's a message that you have for me. That's all I keep hearing.
Maybe
a
he'll be
message for you.
here or maybe it'll come through at another time. I've got chills all over. So we have Jim here in spirit. And see, now look what happens. As soon as I acknowledge spirit, if any of you have seen my live shows before, when spirit comes in and I start feeling something, as soon as I acknowledge the spirit, my physical issue clears up. Just like that. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, thank you. So full moon in Aquarius is calling for us to start practicing breath work because this is all about air. Fear of breathing in because, you know, we're afraid. A lot of people are afraid. Air connects us through the breath, you know, when we say hello, but now we're masked. So we're not connecting our breath because we're really not projecting our voice and our breath. But air is also going to be used as a weapon. And whether that's restricting flights or jacking the cost of flights up or maybe even closing it down, but also those leaf blower wars, that's a weapon. Dream a new dream. What else is calling you? New life. And now here goes my throat again. So Angela,
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
crazy. Gosh, I feel like I smoked about 5 packs of cigarettes. You want to leave your job, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great place to work, but
I know. You're not happy because he keeps telling me that you're not loving it.
Nope.
And so when I said dream a new dream, what else is calling you to a new life? That's when he attacked my throat again. So that's part of your message. Baby steps. So that's just taking the first step and even looking for something new is taking that first baby step. And that was your card that you got. We're entering a Renaissance period. And I thought about like the great artists. And I did think about you, Dawn, and how, you know, COVID has brought that out and it has changed your art business. But everything is being torn down right now. And then from it, I mean, people are creating all over the place. People are becoming very creative. And this energy is just so conducive to creativity that we're going to be coming into a beautiful brand new renaissance come 2022. It's going to be amazing. So many beautiful inventions are going to be created, but also pieces of artwork, conveniences, we're not going back to that old world. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay.
No.
The Great Divide, we are all waking up. Well, most of us are waking up. And even if people can't see it, those in 3D, they know that there's that great divide amongst them and their friends and their family. We have to come to terms of acceptance that this is what is going on in the world. And this is happening everywhere. That people and situations that you knew or thought you knew have changed or are not there anymore. They've vanished, they have gone away. Or maybe it is that we woke up and we realized that they or it was not what we thought they were. It's almost like a lot of us are in shock, especially with friends that, oh my gosh, I can't even believe that came out of your mouth. Like, I thought I knew you. When did this change? Oh, I've always been like that. Since when? Those are the reactions that we're going to be having, just like in total shock over, some people. And it could even be, your closest family member, and we're just losing alignment. We no longer align with certain people, certain things. So what do? Do we say, then this is where I use the analogy, do we stay sitting in a pool where people are peeing in that pool? No, we're going to get out and move on. We're not going to allow people to pee on us. And if you do, well, I don't know, then you have some other things to work on. But you're probably going to stay stuck in that 3D or even maybe even 2D, which is even below the 3D surface. This is a time for all of us to grow and learn and open up to how we're all one and how we're all connected. Every single one of us, and not even just humans, every single living thing on this planet is all connected. Every animal, every plant, the elementals, our rivers and oceans and our lakes, the air that we breathe connects all of us. We're all breathing the same air. We all see the same moon, and we all live under the same sun. We're all one. And Aquarian energy is about that humanity. Excuse me. I feel like we're going to still be living a lot of this through 2021, and we'll start to regain some more normalcy come 2022. That's not to say that we're not finding new normals that we can feel comfortable in, because as a human, we need to feel comfortable and safe, but it's going to take about 2 years. And if you're in resistance and not accepting what's happening, then it will be harder. And I've been saying it for a long time about surrendering and going with the flow. Surrender, Dorothy. It is what it is. So unless you can come up with a way to really change what's going on in the world, then you just have to surrender and accept what's going on and figure out, how can I get through this as comfortable as possible? That's that Cancer energy, about being comfortable and nurturing ourselves and the ones that we love. Ancillary ripple effects. So all of our actions, whether they're kind or unkind, will have ancillary ripple effects throughout our lives. And these are the things that we're manifesting very quickly. But I don't think any of you or anyone that's really watching my show is in that vibrational period. I saw a lot of my followers on all my different platforms. It's almost like a mass exodus. And I had to think about the 4 agreements from Don Miguel Ruiz. Don't take things personally, because I'm like, okay, maybe I don't align with these people anymore. So I'm not taking it personally, but then I'm like, where's everybody going? So I've noticed that, and that's fine, because if someone doesn't align with me, I don't want them. I don't want them on there. I've been really blessed to not have trolls. and just to have a really nice community of people that I truly like. We're going to be dealing with a lot of mental illness. This is part of the ancillary ripple effect. A lot of mental illness in healthcare, you know, with our healthcare workers, our essential workers. Also, because of grief, people have not been able to grieve properly because we haven't been connecting. We haven't had that physical connection. So we're going to see a lot of that ripple effect coming out through 2021, where people we're going to see those effects. Think about 9/11, September 11th of 2001. I don't know if you know, Vicki. So, you know, we had terrorists fly into our towers in New York City, and 3,000 people were killed that day, over 3,000 people. And now, 20 years later, there are people, or even like over the last 10 years, people are dying. All of the service animals died pretty much like within the first year or 2 years from breathing in all of that stuff that's going on. But people got really, really sick from that. So you don't even see those ripples until much later. But the interesting thing is the slogan that came out from that day is never forget. And I have chills saying this, but here in our country, we've had 150,000 people die so far from COVID. I know a lot of people are being listed as COVID deaths that had other underlying conditions, but they may have lived for, you know, another 5 or 10 years, and then COVID pushed them over the edge. Yes, a lot of our elderly have died, but they may have lived, you know, for several more years. People aren't allowed to have funerals. And so we had the slogan, never forget, with 3,000 people dying. And here we have, you know, 150,000 dead already. I think in the UK, I think you're about at, what, about 50,000?
45,000 deaths.
25,000.
45.
Oh, 45. Yeah, I thought it was close to the 50 mark. That's a lot of people. That is a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy. But from this, I believe everything happens for a reason. And what is that reason? We don't know right now. But part of it is so that we can all see what our governments are doing, what's going on in the world, how are our, you know, temples, our churches, our temples, how are they handling it? How are people acting? So much light is being shown in those areas. Think about it. Jupiter always shines the light wherever he is. So back with the Jeffrey Epstein thing, Jupiter had moved into Scorpio. So he was shining the light in things that were hidden when it comes to, you know, sex and passion and, you know, like death, you know, like all those darker shadow things. And that's what my guides told me. Now, Jupiter is in Capricorn, so it's about financing, banking, big business, our governments, our religion, the rules that are placed on us as human citizens, our rights as humans. All of that is being questioned now. So we have to show the light on how horrible everybody's acting. You know, are you going to step up to the plate and be a good, kind human being and help other people? Or are you going to be a piece of shit and just be wondering about, am I going to win the next election? Or am I going to get the new vaccine? Which country is going to win? And, you know, all the crazy stuff. But we have to be shown those things in order to make a change. So I think that that's part of the why. Now, I want to point out, I talked about the 22 degrees for Jupiter, Jupiter in Capricorn and Pluto and Saturn. It's going to hit again on in between November 10th and November 12th. So I feel, now think about that, that's finance. I feel as though we're coming into another financial crisis. And I knew that this transit coming into 2020, that we were in a 10-year transit. So whether we're being rolled back 10 years or it's going to take us 10 years to recover from this, we have a long road ahead of us. A lot of children are going to be greatly affected by this mentally as well. So if you have small children at home, it's really important to not be in that fear place, that place of fear, because we don't want them growing up being afraid of the world and, you know, being locked away. So it's so important with people with children at home to nurture them and try and keep things as normal as possible so that they can grow into healthy social beings that, you know, can re-enter the world when all of this is over. And I know that that's going to be difficult. The elections, vaccines, these are topics if you have questions about the election here in the United States that will take place in November. I don't know who's going to win, because last year my guides told me that it would be somebody that wasn't even running for president. I feel like whoever gets into office will not make it to their full term. Either they're going to be assassinated or they're going to die, because both of the candidates are almost 80 years old. So that's a given, which would mean that whoever the vice president is would step into the role of president. Therefore, that could be what my guides meant. Like, the person that becomes the president wasn't even running for president. When they announced that Kanye West was running, I thought, holy shit, is this the person that's going to get into office? Because he's crazy. And I don't mean that, you know what, strike that, I'm sorry, because, you know, he does have bipolar disease and disorder, and I don't want to say anything negative. So that was really bad of me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for anybody that is dealing with mental illness. That was really terrible. I can't even strike it. So watch my words. That just came out of my mouth, Vicky, and I can't ever take that back, because this will be public. Vaccines. Yeah, I feel like vaccines are coming out. I'll never take one. I really feel that Bill Gates is trying to I know this is conspiracy theory, but they want everybody to be vaccinated. I saw a lot of different articles about how these vaccinations have a tiny microchip, kind of like how you microchip your dogs. Now I'm like, I can't even believe I did that to my dogs, you know, for tracking purposes. But we may not be able to travel unless we're vaccinated and chipped, which is friggin' ridiculous, but expect it. And also, too, it's been known that Bill Gates' vaccinations that have been used in Africa have been used for population control. So back in the 80s, or even back in the 60s when I was born, we got about, what was it, like 4 or 5 different vaccines. You know, measles, mumps, rubella, polio. So that, huh?
Yeah, those are the 4.
Yeah, measles, mumps, rubella, polio, and then tetanus, I think.
Yeah.
And so, and then you would be tested for tuberculosis annually. They would do like this little 4-prong pick there, and then you wait a week to see if it developed anything, to see if you have tuberculosis. So that's, you know, 4 or 5 different things. Babies being born now, by the time they are 1 year old, have had 72 vaccinations. That is insane. And you know why? Because there is so much money for these companies to capitalize on. So of course you need that vaccination, and you have to have this vaccination. And it's all a money-making scheme. That's also part of the Capricorn energy, just so you know. UFOs, do not be surprised. I need to try and fix this. Sorry, but the sun is coming in and I can't see the screen any longer. Can somebody tell me what time it is so I can keep an eye on the time?
12:30, I think, your time.
Okay, really? Sorry. I'll try and wrap this up as quickly as possible because I know it's getting late for some of you. And I'm almost finished all of my crazy messages. UFOs, do not be surprised. And this could even be what comes in on that November 12th. I'm not sure, but I think this is going to be when Saturn moves back into Aquarius in December, because Aquarius is definitely alien and UFO energy. Don't be surprised if we hear something about UFOs. Do any of you believe in UFOs or life outside of here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Seems an awful waste of space if there's nothing else out there, doesn't it?
Yeah. Does anybody watch Ancient Aliens?
Mm-mm.
No.
Oh my gosh. I've been watching Ancient Aliens for like 16 years, I think. It's on the History Channel, but it's those guys. I mean, after maybe like 4 or 5 episodes, I'll be like, okay, you know what? You're pushing the agenda. Like it's so informative, and they really go into history and everything and piecing things together. But then after 4 or 5 episodes, I'm like, okay, they're making things fit like squares fitting into the round holes. But I still am fascinated by it. So I think that's going to be something that we're going to see over the next couple of years. Talked about the manifestation. Oh, and then also too, with these different things, the elections, the vaccines, and world events, there are so many players involved in all the world events, all the different governments around the world. And these people have free will. And when I said that sometimes the universe doesn't allow us to know everything, like how is something going to turn out, and it's because free will is at its it's up here. It's higher than it ever has been. Whereas, I feel like universal energy has had a little push, in a lot of directions. There are so many players right now to create this chaos to help us tear down what we have going on so that we can rebuild a new world. And then also too, part of our manifestations, I was given the analogy of a pregnancy. And since we know that, a woman could be pregnant and may not show for many, many months, but that doesn't mean that creation that seed hasn't been planted and it's growing. So we're in this super creative place right now, all of us, and we're being asked to create amazing things. So just because we don't see things manifesting, some things as quickly as we want, doesn't mean that we didn't plant the seed with our thoughts and our intentions and our dreams and our wishes. So I just wanted to point that out to you. Dream big. Now is the time to dream big and keep your vibe as high as possible. Remove yourself from situations that are bringing your vibration down, because you don't want to manifest crap. You want to manifest your dream life. And that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions for me, or do you need some more information on anything that I spoke about?
I do have a question rumbling around because there were a couple things you said that kind of all triggered together, but I can't quite figure out how to word it yet. So I may have to send you that question later.
Okay.
I I need to figure out how it all fits together first.
Okay, and then that may turn into one of my Ask Me Anything videos. So, if I feel that, I think all information, all questions are great for the collective, because if you're thinking about the question, absolutely somebody else is too. Anyone else? Did you like this?
Yes. Thank you for
Yes.
doing it.
Thank you all for being here. I really
you, Kim.
appreciate it. So what will I be doing? I have to get back to recording the August. I'm looking. Oh, that's Ellen. Hi. I got to get back to recording the August tarot scopes and try and get them all out today, because it is August 1st, but I've been so busy. I took off from work yesterday, and I was going to do them yesterday, and guess what? I got a mani and a pedi. You would
Oh,
like
that
it,
looks
Ellen.
nice. Yes.
So it's OPI, and it's like a really pale pink, but it's almost white, and it's called You Are the Artist. And I got my feet done. I take care. I usually do all my own, but like once a summer, usually at the beginning of summer, I like to get the profesh, because they cut my toes right, and I'll get like ingrown from being in shoes all winter, and I can't get those out, and I butcher my feet. And she even said, "Oh my gosh, I could tell that you've been trying to do this, but they look great now, so I can actually wear open shoes." And then yesterday, my masseuse called and said, "I have an 8 a.m. opening, and I haven't had a massage since February, so I got a massage before this."
Yay.
Yay! Because our salons are now opening, finally, after all of this time. And I belong to a Hand and Stone massage, which is a monthly subscription, and I've been paying every month. It comes out of my bank account automatically. So I've got like 6 months worth of packages built up. They're not doing facials yet because of the restrictions, but I got rubbed down with CBD oil with THC in it, so I'm just all jelly. Great. But yeah, so I wound up taking my day off that I really wanted to go to the shore, but it rained. Have you been to the shore, Ellen?
Yeah, we've gone down, we go about 2 or 3 days a week, depending on what's going on. The kids, their sports schedules are starting to kick up a little bit. So depending on what they have going on, and then, juggling a couple other commitments and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We've been trying to go down. So, but yeah, we, last week was the first week we really hadn't gone down at all. But yeah, we usually go about 2 or 3 days a week, depending what's going on.
How's the traffic been?
It hasn't been that bad.
Yeah.
4th of July, we went down 4th of July, or the Friday leading into it. And usually in the past, you could get there before 11 and you can get a parking space. We left early. We were there before 10:30. So there's not a spot to be had. And the kids were like, "What's going on?" I was so angry, and
that's why I haven't been going down, because people are just like flocking to the beaches, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know.
It's been really like, because where we go, we go during the week. No, and like people are respectful of your space. At least they have been. Even in the water, like the water's been so delicious. It's been so warm, and the
water temperature has been almost 80 degrees, which is it's like, say, 35 Celsius, 36 Celsius.
Yeah, and I mean, we went to, not this week, but last week we went down, and I was dragging my son out of the water, and I had to promise him that we were going back the next day. And then even then, we get there, we eat lunch, and we didn't realize we were in the water for about 4 hours.
Wow.
It was just so nice.
Wow. But now August is here, so the jellyfish are going to move in.
They're usually not too bad in Belmar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's more south. So that should be, hopefully that'll be okay. I mean, by
What about-
mid-August, I'm done anyway because I go back to school. So,
Oh, yeah,
so we have to milk the cow as long as we can.
right. So, well, yeah, my 2 beach days that I took off from work were taken out by thunderstorms, so I didn't get down.
No.
Vicky, do
Yeah.
you live near the beach at all?
Yeah.
Being so south?
Yeah. We can see the sea from the house, and we go down there very regularly.
Oh, she
Yeah.
can see it from her house, Ellen.
Yeah. Yeah. But a lot of it rains a lot, so it's not as fun as you imagine.
Oh,
Here. I
I'd
still
still be
love it.
out there in the rain. I would still be out.
You're gonna get wet anyway. So
Exactly. Yeah. But it's so
But
good
it's-
down there.
But the water is probably colder.
It's very, very cold here. It never gets warm.
Oh, that's
oh no.
terrible.
Yeah, you need a wetsuit to be able to go in because it's really cold.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but it's still fun.
Well, yeah. No, I wouldn't consider that fun. I don't like going in the ocean until it has to be at least 73, 74 degrees,
Yeah.
which is, oh, I don't know. What is that Celsius?
Yeah, I don't understand Fahrenheit. I have no
What
idea.
is 74 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius?
74 degrees Fahrenheit is 23.333 degrees
Ooh.
Celsius.
A good
Yeah, so
temperature.
it has to be at least that for me to go in. So I would say it's been running probably around 27 to 30. It's been unusually warm.
Oh, that sounds
And-
good.
And then
Oh,
Dawn,
it's
she
lovely.
lives up in the mountains, so she's landlocked. But you have beautiful lakes.
Oh, that's
We do have some beautiful lakes. Where I am in the valley is kind of high desert, but the
Mhm.
mountains are 30 minutes away. So I'm surrounded by mountains and trees and lakes and all that on all sides. So
And
Sounds
she
lovely.
has so many beautiful animals on her property, ducks and quail and bunnies and all different critters that I get to see all the time because she posts those on Instagram. So just one more shout out to Dawn. Be sure to check her out at paintedwillowart.com. I do have the video on my YouTube, but she has free tutorials. She just posted her August class schedule. You can take a block of classes or you could take individual classes.
I do private as well.
And she does private as well. So she's on Facebook, Instagram, and her own website. And you do not have to be an artist, but it's therapeutic. So if you're stressed out, Aries, I highly recommend it, Angela and Vicky.
All right.
Thank you all for joining me. And
Thank you, Kim.
I'm going to wrap this up and have a blessed week. Be sure to look out for your taroscope for your sun sign, rising sign, and moon sign. I will message each of you where Aries is in your individual charts. And so this way you know what you need to work on for the next 7 months. And that will help. Just knowing will help, when it shows up and say, oh, yes, like, this is what Kim said. I can deal with this. I think when we are informed, we know how to utilize that energy, the anger, in a creative way. So,
If you get pinched for time, Kim, I know where it's at in mine, so you don't have to send me one.
oh, okay.
Okay.
That sounds good. Perfect. I'm never pinched for time. I make time for everybody because I just love doing this. I do. I love helping people and connecting with all of you. So it's my passion, and I am blessed and lucky that I get to live this life. Anyway, and girls, we'll have to get together. I got to get those selenites to you somehow.
Yeah, and I want to set up, like I said, a time to have a reading with you. So
Okay.
I'll text you.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. I don't know how to turn this off. because of the sun. All right, I'm gonna end this for us.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
All right,
Bye,
bye.
thank
Have a
you.
great week. Bye bye.
You too.